G'day, welcome back to another episode of Togl. This week, this episode's mainly going to be about getting that bridge sorted out. Started off yesterday, we went and got those telegraph poles. I had to work pretty fast to help the guys get the logs on, that sort of thing. And I hadn't taken my tripod, so I couldn't even set up my camera. Plus it was raining on and off, so again, I couldn't set up the big camera. So this next little bit of footage you're about to see is us yesterday getting those logs loaded up in and out of the rain, and thankfully we managed to just get the truck onto the block back here with those logs before the rain really started to set in for the afternoon, because if it had been raining for a couple of hours, those tracks would have been real slick and greasy. We haven't got the gravel on there yet. We're still waiting for that to happen. It'll be a few more weeks. Even this morning, after having all that rain yesterday afternoon, I've noticed on some of the slopes that track is pretty slick, and moving some of these rocks around, which I'm about to explain to you that I'm doing today, is getting a little dicey. It is warm, there's cloud around. I'm hoping that the track does dry out a little bit and that we don't get any more rain. But yeah, there's this big pile of rocks here behind me. We've got several of these piles of rocks all around the block here. And they're always right on the edge of the forest. And I think what it is when the farmers in previous years and decades, and it's probably been happening for 100 years, as they've been clearing all the rocks out of their paddocks, where they graze their cows and that sort of thing, and mow hay, they don't want to be hitting rocks. So as they're clearing those rocks, they just dump them. So we end up with these big piles of rocks. Now that's really handy for me. What my plan is, you've just seen in the last 2 episodes ago, where those big bed logs were dropped into the creek, and the creek runs through the middle and the ground is sloped up to them. So what I want to do is just layer rocks on those slopes, and then I'm going to put mesh across it, fencing mesh, and then stake it all in just to help hold it together. It'll just mean that hopefully the water won't wash away that soil as much. Now we don't get massive flows down through there. We do get some decent flows, as you would have seen from last year's videos. But that was when I only had those 3 small pipes too, so they instantly blocked up with the tree ferns, water flowed over the top. But as for depth, even when that happened, the depth never got more than maybe, a foot or 2. So now with it all cleared open and I'll have the rocks on the side, I really do doubt we would ever get water any more than waist deep in there, and that bridge is about head height, so the water won't ever go up over the bridge. There's too many other areas that the water would flow out to before it would go over the bridge. But I do need to stabilize the bank a little bit, so that's where these rocks are going to come in. So today's a gym day. I'm going to be spending all day just lifting these big rocks, getting them into the back of the car and getting them down there to the bridge. Once I've done a couple of runs, I'll start to put them in. I'll show you that, and then I'll assess how much more rock I need to go and get. I'll probably wander up and down the creek a little bit as well. I'll see what I can find down there, especially for some of the smaller size rocks to fit in amongst the gaps. If I can carry them around in the creek, that's great, but I do need, at least for the bottom rows, really nice big solid rocks that are going to sit in there heavily, and that's where piles like this, I'll be able to get the biggest rocks that I can physically just manage to lift myself and get into the back of the car. They will all be the base rocks, but you'll see that as I put it together. Anyway, like I said, let's have a quick look at some of the footage from yesterday, and then I'll roll back into doing some of this work down there on the bridge. Once I've got all the rocks and everything in, then I'll start bringing those telegraph poles down. I don't want to be doing that until I've got everything done. I don't want to be working under the bridge. I might as well get it done in there first, and then I'll build the bridge across the top. Time for me to get stuck into it. But they're stacking in there beautifully now. Well, that's number 8 going on. It's been going pretty smoothly, but I've been doing a lot of helping as well, so I haven't been able to film as much. But that's okay. I mean, you've seen one log get put on, you've seen them all, right? I've managed to get 2 loads of rocks down here. So the 2 piles there, that was 2 loads of rocks from up the top of the paddock. But that track is getting quite slippery, even just getting out that second time. So no more going in and out of there. I'll see what I can get done with these rocks. What I plan on doing is probably only going up maybe 2 or 3 levels, well 2 or 3 rows of rocks to start with. Because that's probably where the water's going to go to anyway, so I'll get that built first and then I can continue to layer it up higher as I go. But initially I just want to make sure I've got some rocks on the left and right in there, and that's what I'll get done now. So that's probably going to take me a good few hours. I might do a little bit of time lapse, show you a little bit of how that's all going. If anything comes to mind I think's interesting, then I'll let you know. But let's get this started now. I've got a big day ahead of me, and it looks like it may rain again this afternoon. It's very gloomy at the moment, so I need to get cracking on it. Well, it is hot, exhausting work. I am buggered, but we've used up both ute loads of rock, and we've managed to get that rock wall in right across. That's about as high as I'm going to go for now. I used a lot of the really big rocks in this front corner because that's where the water's going to hit first. That will bear the brunt, that corner and this corner right here. I started on this corner, but I'm out of rocks. So I think the other side's pretty good, and that wall is quite thick as well. It's a couple of layers of rock thick as well as high. So now what I'm going to do, there's some other piles of rocks around on the property over on this side. I'm going to go and try and load up some of them and come back, and then I can do some more work on this side. Probably won't get finished today. Far too much work for that, but I'll get as much done as I can. At least if I can get 1 or 2 rows down the bottom, so that if we do get some rain over the next couple of days, at least it'll be protected. So that's the plan. Well, that's been a huge day. As you can see, both walls done. Hopefully you can hear me over that waterfall. They're done about as much as I'm going to do them at the moment. They're sort of up here, a bit past my knees. And because it's such a nice wide area too, means, as you know, if it's narrow, water rises. If you've got a long, wide area, more water can flow through. So, what I need to do now is, well, right now, look at me, I am filthy. That's what you get of cuddling rocks all day. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, I am buggered. So I'm heading home to get cleaned up. There will be some more rain tonight, I think. I'll probably come up, not tomorrow, I'll probably come up the next day. And then hopefully all these rocks are exactly where they are right now. Hopefully none of them have been moved. And then what I'll do is I'll start wrapping some wire mesh across the front of them, just to secure them, because once we do get right into the heart of winter and we're getting rain every single day, and the ground becomes so waterlogged that it can't absorb any more water, and everything that rains ends up sheeting off and coming down through here, I really want that wire over here to help secure it. I'm also hoping that the way I've laid these rocks and tried to intertwine them and everything, that a lot of this gravel that's in here will actually build up in amongst the rocks. I've noticed when I've tried to pull rocks out of the creek bed sometimes, they get that embedded in, and then the little rocks go in between and it cements them in beautifully. They get so jammed in. So I've tried to replicate that through here, and hopefully with all of those precautions, the wall won't wash away. That's the plan. We will see what happens. We've got, what's it now, mid-April or early to mid-April, so yeah. The rains will start in June, and then I've got about 3 months of rain after that. So in about 5 months, we'll know, hopefully not before then, but hopefully in 5 months we come through unscathed. All the walls have stayed put, settled in nicely, bridge will be on top, because that'll be the next thing. Like I said, I'll get up here, I'll get wire on these. Shouldn't take more than maybe 2 hours to get some wire put across them, pegged in a little bit. Then, weather permitting, I've got to start dragging those telegraph poles down. I say weather permitting because the slope in from this side is it's not overly steep, but until I get the gravel down, it's slippery as all buggery. So I need dry days because I don't want to wait 4 weeks for the gravel to come in to start bringing those logs in. I want to have that bridge built by then, so I'm praying we get a couple of weeks of dry weather. So I'm going to leave it right here, go home, and you'll see me in just a second when I'm back up here putting all the wire down. I hope you found this little bit pretty interesting. I found it bloody exhausting. I'll see you shortly. And here we are, back up at the block again. This afternoon I'm going to try and move some of these poles, some of these telegraph poles. Now what I've done is I have reversed the car up, because it's going to take a bit of effort to get the tractor up here, over onto this side. So we'll see how this works first. So I've wrapped the strap around, and basically it's in a loop. So it goes around, comes back up, goes through itself, so that'll tighten on. See, it loops through there. Then I've wrapped around twice and de-shackled it. Now let's see if that'll drag, and if it does, I'll try and drag a few of these down this afternoon before any more rain comes, because looking around, and it is still quite grey and gloomy up here, and in a couple of days time we are expecting about 6 days of rain. Well, that didn't go too badly. A couple of little scuff up on the dirt, like it gouged out a little bit, but considering the length of the truck, I just dragged that log down, and the 1 or 2 little scuff marks, it's not going to be a problem. The gravel will go over the top of that anyway, so I'm going to drag a few more down and we'll see how many I can get down there. My problem is going to be, well, not a problem, but the issue I'm going to have down the other end is where to stack them all. So I'm going to just drag down a few more and we'll see where we're at. Well, I did it. All 10 logs down here. Didn't take that long really, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was quite tense for a lot of it because, you know, the log, that edge was always just catching, so the car was really shaking and catching, so you know, I was tense in the core trying to hold myself steady as the car did that. as well as worrying, you know, what was I doing to the track. But each time I turn around and go back, there was only very minor scrapes on the track, so that was good. One or two rocks got caught and pulled out, but no big deal. You know, worrying what's it going to do to the car, is the strap going to hold up? And then we had a few little showers of rain come through, and the whole time I was stressing, like, am I going to get all 10 down today before the rain kicks in? It was a pretty tense hour and a half, 2 hours. And as you can see now on my face, the sun is beaming through. It's just on the horizon, so it's getting towards the end of the day. But whilst it might be a little bit sunny out there, up behind me, over this way, it's still quite grey. But anyway, let's have a look at where we've got these logs now. So, to get a perspective, you just saw behind me, there's the creek where the bridge is going to go down there. Swinging around just here to the crest of the hill. I didn't want to drag them down too far because I was worried about it's still quite sticky and slippery down there. So I got 3 here, including this one, which is the 10 meter. So that's going to be one of the edges. And then the other 10 meter one, sorry for the glare, but you're looking straight at the sun. The other 10 meter one I just propped up in there. It'll be the other side. And then the other 6 I've just got right here. And the way that I've propped them on the edge of this hill here, you may be able to tell if I swing it around, is that there's a gap underneath the end of each of them. They're all just sort of hanging out, which enables me to get a strap or a rope around them real easily, because they are heavy. You're not lifting up one end just to put a strap around. So the fact that we've got them like that, you can see it better from that angle. They're all just hanging off. So that will make strapping them up a lot easier. We just got to drag them straight down the hill and straight across to where the bridge is over there. Let's go down and just have a quick look. Everything's settled down after the mess I was making there yesterday building that rock wall. You may have noticed the water was very discoloured in what is a beautiful pristine creek. You know, lovely crystal clear, because it just flows out of a spring just up the hill here. So it really is nice water. But well, that's it for this episode. We're out of time again, so I hope you've enjoyed it as usual. Next week we'll be back and we're going to start dragging those logs into place and start getting the bridge built. So that will be really good once they're in place, and then we can start driving backwards and forwards over it. That'll be fantastic. So until then, I hope you have a great weekend. Have a great week. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you next week. Cheers.